It's a facility built for 160. We now have about 400 up there, and we still have another 250 elsewhere outside of the Cambridge facility. A facility that was built in 1971 for 160 inmates, and now housing 400 men. We're the only tenants in a 22-story building. Only 3 floors of inmates and 1 floor for administration by the sheriff's office, and the rest of the building is empty. I was stunned to see the situation of overcrowding and the potential danger that could be risked, to be quite honest with you, every day in what many would consider to be a powder keg. What we've done is, because the floor space is so valuable in a facility like that, that we simply have a number of cells with a large hallway sort of attending to those cells. We'll then leave one cell unoccupied, so there will be facilities. We'll have all the other cells occupied, and then we'll have bunk beds running up and down that hall so that we can house more and more inmates. We've used up every inch of floor space up there, at one point populating the chapel with inmates during our most significant overcrowding periods. When we again get up to a higher number and we don't have enough bed space, we put out what we call boats. They're these plastic containers.
Once it becomes overcrowded, that's laid on the floor with a mattress, and they sleep. That's how they sleep at night due to the overcrowding.
When you get to live with people for so long, like I've lived with some of these guys for a couple months now, it becomes a weird big family, truthfully. You just learn to get along, you know what bothers the other person, you know what doesn't bother them. So you just learn to live together.
A unit that you described the size of someone's large living room, and 30 men in 15 bunks running up and down the right side and up and down the left side, with perhaps 3 feet between the ends of the bunks. And that's the entire unit, except for a small area for the facilities down the end. I don't know how they do it, because I feel claustrophobic just visiting there for a period of time. I'm not in there 24 hours a day.
Of course, they all complain.
Yeah.
But it falls on deaf ears. Nobody cares.
So what would you say to somebody on the outside who really doesn't care what goes on in here?
Everybody's here because of their own reason. It's their own fault in a way, so just don't get arrested and you don't have to come here.
Do you think it's fair that it should be like this? Given you've done the crime, so...
Yeah, it's... The way I look at it, the way I was raised, if I did something wrong, I take responsibility for it. So it's my own fault I'm here. So deal with it.
Again, this goes to show you the difficulty and the challenges that are presented in corrections pretty much everywhere nowadays. Really, again, the amazing work of corrections officers that manage an overcrowding of this nature with some of the worst criminals in the state and around the country. So we are simply always overcrowded and always pushing excess population outside of that building, because, again, that building could be very dangerous with too much overcrowding.